Hello and welcome to another Baggie Brothers video. We're talking all things Albion, and today we are very, very honoured to be joined by one of the best left backs we've ever had, Paul Robinson, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Paul?
I'm all good, thank you very much. That's a
Thank you
big
very much for
statement,
joining
that.
us.
One of the best left backs. That's a big statement.
You're up there.
You're
Definitely
up
up
there. Now, I'm sure most of the fans that are, that'll be looking at this will know who you are, but just to give a brief glimpse into your history with West Brom, you were with us for 6 years, 238 appearances, you got 2 promotions with us. You reached the FA Cup semi-final, and of course you were part of the Great Escape team in the 04-05 season, which is obviously, I guess, one of the reasons you get sort of dragged into these Albion videos more and more often.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously you're here because you've got a new business venture that you're starting up, which is the Paul Robinson Sports Mindset.
Sports Mindset, yeah, that's it.
Would you mind to sort of going into a little bit about what the new business is and what the aim is with the Sports Mindset?
Yeah, so the aim is basically is a bit like my career, with what I had to deal from a young kid, coming through academies to having the career that I did. I mean, luckily for me, I didn't have any injuries, so I was quite fortunate in that sense that I never had to go through certain dark periods of being out injured. But obviously, with the mindset that I had, it sort of can help so many others, and that's the aim of it. The aim of it is to not only pass on my experiences, but to help people as much as I can in not just football, but in sport, who are having a bit of a tough time. And when they need a shoulder to lean on and talk about certain things and how we can work with the mindset to change a negative into a positive, then yeah, that's what it's mainly all about, is to have that positive mindset.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's good to see that, someone's sort of helping, promote the mental side of the game as well as the physical side of it. Because obviously in the last few years, sort of mental health has been sort
quite
of a bit
big
more,
thing, hasn't it? Yeah,
it's sort of obviously becoming a bit more obvious with people.
Definitely, but yeah, I want to get that point out there though, is that I'm not a qualified sports psychologist of the ones that they have these roles and responsibilities, or I'm not a mental health expert either. I haven't got the qualifications for that. But what I do have is that I lived and I breathed every minute of playing on that line and understanding what it takes to play for such a long time, really. And that's what it's really about, is that you can achieve it if you believe in it and you do all the right things and have that mindset.
Yeah, totally.
What is the most important factor though for having the right mindset for becoming like a pro footballer, say? What would
You've got to be prepared for it. There's going to be rejection. Without doubt, there's going to be rejection. There's going to be a young kid getting released from a football club that he knew he had no pathway there. So for him, that door's never shut. The doors are never shut for these people. It's understanding that, right, that door's shut, but there's always another challenge out there that I'm excited for and I've got to look forward to. So the fact of it really is that you've got to expect really the ups and the downs to come at you from all angles, but it's being prepared. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to prepare for them and understand that football it's a tough industry. You work for clubs now, and you're like a piece of meat until you're not needed anymore. Then that's when these clubs move you on, like you say. And it's having that sort of that visualization and that mind map in front of you to prepare yourself for the worst, but knowing that you've got that in front of you and you now go on to a new challenge and exciting times ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously, you see a lot of certain players will, be journeymen, so to speak. But I guess it's a bit of that sort of just being ready to sort of, all right, I'm not needed here. Who does need me? And you sort of get yourself ready for that.
Yeah.
No, that's great. But what would be one of the most overlooked thing you've noticed with players, and sort of especially as a mindset, maybe in the modern age, maybe what you've experienced, but what's a really overlooked thing that a player should consider more?
I think, from working with kids from the last 2 years, I would definitely say it's mistakes. These kids tend to make a lot of mistakes and they let it get to them, which then they'll lose focus on their game, what they need to do around on the football pitch in getting themselves refocused. So for me, making loads of mistakes as young, and I think for senior pros as well, it's that social media side of it, is the experienced pros. It's if you make them a costly error during a game, straight away you've got every social media website pages coming down on you like a ton of bricks, and it's being able to cope with that. You've got to have thick skin, so you've got to have a mind that actually switches off from it all and realise, you know what, we all make mistakes in life. It doesn't matter what job we do. It's to support the ones that you need to support them around, and then look at stuff. Make sure you're looking through your games and seeing what you did before to why do you keep making these mistakes. And you will go through these periods of throughout your career is that you're not going to be 100% perfect no matter
of course. What. You might just have one season where everything's great and you just top of the team, top boy, and then
definitely. So with the points that you make, obviously with the kids, it's mistakes. You notice that when they make a mistake, it gets to them in their head. They can't refocus, and then they make mistake after mistake. And then obviously with the senior pro, more than likely is obviously it's the social media side of it and the media themselves, because they slow things down to make the challenge look worse. Then the papers jump on them, then social media jump on them. So it's having to deal with that really. It's the bigger picture for the senior pros.
What was the biggest hurdle you faced as a player?
I think the biggest hurdle was obviously definitely the players who I injured throughout my career, because I knew I was that I was gonna get certain media attention. I knew that the managers were gonna blow it up more than what they should have done. Obviously, my family got abused because of that, so that wasn't nice having to deal with that. My kids going into school and getting abused by other kids. It's not nice. Not nice to see it. Not nice to hear it. I think they're the biggest hurdles. Is that he's trying to get over them, trying to realise that it's unfortunate. It's one of these things that happen. Football's it's a quick tempo game, and every tackle we go for, we know we're not going to make we're not going to make it getting the ball. And unfortunately for me, that happened quite a few times. So it's having to deal with that and really just accept what's happened and try and move on as quick as you can.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of that. Yeah, accepting the responsibility on a thing like that, but also trying not to sort of let it affect everything else with your life. Because
I don't want it to affect my family, because they're like you say, they're not the ones who should be in the firing line. It should be me. So they're the ones that need to be protected the most. I don't mind the stick coming towards me, because I sort of tended to brush it off and deal with it. But with my family, that was quite hard to take, that one.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sort of tying it in, I guess, with a little bit of sort of West Brom. Obviously, we've mentioned it already, the Great Escape.
Yes.
The Great Escape.
Yeah.
Which maybe we'll have another one of those this season. Who knows? But with a scenario like that, I'm guessing as well, having sort of a certain mental approach to deal with that. Benefits, especially just you as an individual and as a team. How important was it to have the right sort of mental approach to dealing with? I mean, let's face it, the most mental scenario any team really has to face.
Definitely. There was a whole lot of factors in it. Emotions, sort of that pressure, that week in, week out, day in, day, having to deal with, again, media saying you're rubbish, you don't deserve to be in the Premier League, things like that. But what the great thing about it was then with the squad that we had was we had no egos. So there was no one in there that put their foot out of place, because we had a group of players that would put the foot back down. And we had it controlled. And when you got people like Kevin Campbell, Jonathan Greening, myself, Neil Clement, just real leaders. Dean Kiley was Dean Kiley.
Yeah. Is Russell still in the squad as well? Russell Holt.
Russell Holt's in the squad. Ricardo Schumacher, Darren Purse. So we had journeymen who'd been to other clubs and been captains of other clubs. So they understood that there was no one that was going to put any of us in danger of being misplaced or led down the wrong pathway of my ego's bigger than yours. It was never like that. We always had a good group of grounded lads who wanted to do well for West Bromwich Albion Football Club.
Yeah. Which at the end of the day is kind of the important thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's what made it so great, was that we all stuck together through the thick, through the thin, through the losses, through the wins. We never let it get above us, and we always kept ourselves level. Even going into the last game against Portsmouth, we knew that we just had to win that game. And we believed that if we went in there with the right mindset and the right attitude, we'd win it, and we did. But then we were just relying on the other result to get
Some very lucky things happening, but but you obviously, as a team, you all did what your responsibility was.
Definitely. And we need to do what we needed to do.
Yeah. What was your favourite memory at the Hawthorns?
Quite loads. Flipping. I think the big wins. I think the big win was when we beat Everton 1-0. I think that was a big one. We beat Man City 2-0 as well in the evening. So they were big games that obviously we needed to play well in and get good results. But I think the Charlton one away. Where we played just out of the world. Robert Earnshaw come on, scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Obviously Villa away when I've come up
Oh
with
no.
and then just I just think, like you say, Kieran Richardson's goal, kept Jeff Horsfield's goal in the last game, sort of, they're the ones that epitomised what we were all about as a group. Just everyone relied on popping up at different times to score important goals. It wasn't just one person or two people. It was different individuals.
Yeah. It was a whole team working hard.
Definitely.
Who were some of your favourite players from that squad then to work around, on and off?
Yeah, I mean, Jono, I had a great relationship with Jono on and off the field. Jeff, I had a real good relationship with Jeff Horsfield. Andy Johnson's always a great character around the place, even though he was out injured. But he, again, was so good to have around with his character and his mentality. Clem as well. Clem was a winner. Loved being around Clem. So yeah, there was a great core of people who we knew that like if push comes to shove, we'd have each other's backs.
Yeah. Oh, it's just I remember the hair dye incidents as well with you and Kev.
That was a good one. That one. Yeah, that was a barbecue one. That just went round his house for a nice little quiet barbecue and ended up getting steaming. And his sister-in-law dying both our hairs because she was a hairdresser. But mine was like, I woke up in the morning and mine was ginger, so like bright red. So I went into Solihull. Me and my missus had to go into Solihull. We had to go and get another colour, so we had to go and get another blonde colour to make it look blonde, because Kev sent me a picture and his was white. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not sending in mine. I walked in with a cap on, trying to cover myself up. Who walks past me? Dean Kiley, and I'm thinking, oh no. Straight away, he I don't know what Dino's like. Straight away, he went, "What have you?" Just shouted it in the middle of the Tuxford shopping centre. I'm like, "Shut up, Dino! Shut up!" like that. But yeah, but that was what it was. That's what it was like behind the scenes with us. Kev was, again, another great friend of mine, and just one of those memories that will always stick with you in what we did. And then obviously we did so well, we kept it.
Yeah.
Who's the best player you've ever played against?
Oh gosh, I'm definitely going to say Ronaldo, just because of the fact is that he started to hit his prime just before obviously we got relegated. You could see what type of player he was, and when you were marking him, you could just see the difference from the year before. He wasn't really powerful, he wasn't aware of what the Premiership was all about. He kept falling over quite a lot. Just the change in him was scary. He turned into a proper football player, and one that, do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
The world's best.
Without a shadow of a doubt, one of the world's best players. So yeah, it was a great honour to share the pitch with him. But there's so many. I mean, Ryan Giggs-Again, again, with his knowledge and experience on the football pitch and the way that he still played to a late age, it was just so good watching him as well live, with how he tore fullbacks to pieces sometimes.
Yeah. Must be obviously quite scary standing there in the tunnel.
I'm glad he was on the left, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Let someone else deal with it. Who was your favourite manager that you got to play under, whether that was Albion or a different club?
Oh, we're basing it on West Brom, so I'll stick with West Brom. Definitely. I mean, all three of them I loved more, which was obviously Gary Megson, and then Brian Robson and Tony Mowbray. For me, them three were just totally different philosophies, totally different ways of thinking. But I loved each and every one of them with the way that they wanted West Brom to do really well. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna enjoy Brian Robson's as well, because of the great escape with the way that he was as a player, the way he drilled us as a team. And then, but Tony Mowbray was absolutely brilliant with he turned us into Brazil. When I look at it, I mean, it doesn't even really get talked about with the football that we played. They always just look at the way that we scored goals for fun, but we tore teams to pieces with the football we played. So it was so exciting, and every game we went into, we felt that we could have won by 4 or 5, or could have lost by 4 or 5, just because of how attacking we were.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's everything we wanted to ask you, really, sort of regarding. Is there anything else that you'd like to add regarding the new business that you're doing, the Sports Mindset?
Obviously it's just started, so I know it's going to take time. We're in a difficult situation at the moment, but yeah,
Sure.
I mean, if this is going out there and people are listening, it's not for football, it's for all sports people who are struggling, and it's just to make them have that mindset. I mean, like you say, I was lucky I didn't have any injuries, but there's always different ways that you can change your mind to putting yourself away from that situation and thinking of other stuff and doing other things that will occupy you. And yeah, I mean, I'd love people to get in touch if they want to chat. If, like you say, if there's grassroots football teams out there that are struggling, I've got a few meetings coming up with some academies as well, which is nice because they obviously want to listen to my roots through the academy and what it was all about. And yeah, I'm excited really. I love my coaching. I still want to be involved in football at one point. It's nice. I'm having the break with my family, so I've really enjoyed that. But yeah, now I'm getting itchy feet again, and I want to get back into the coaching, and I want to start helping people on the field and helping them develop the right way.
Oh, that's great. Well, obviously, if anybody does want to find out more info, it's paulrobinsonsportmindset.co.uk. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Where else can people find you? Would it be Instagram is probably the best place for people?
Yeah, it's all on my posts. It's all on my posts anyway. Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's on there. So they're all the links in my bio. So that they're all on there. Just go on the website and have a look. And if there's sports people out that watch this and they want to get in touch, then yeah, please do get in touch and we'll have a chat.
Sounds great.
Do you reckon we'll stay up this season?
All gone.
Just a quick one.
Say again.
Do you reckon West Brom will stay up this season or not?
I really hope so. I do really hope so. I just think they've been through such a flipping tough time in recent years. The stability again is not good. That's the only disappointing thing about it, is that when I was there and all the other players, we had a stability about us where the right managers were coming in, the players that were coming in understood what West Brom was all about. I think obviously since Slavan's come in, he sort of got that back, stabilised the team. Unfortunately, he didn't get the players in that he wanted to, and in the transfer window before it shut. And then they've made the decision in getting rid of him. We all know what Big Sam's all about, the style of football that he plays. But I think he'll change with the players that he's got there. When you've got the likes of Pereira, Diagana, if he can stay fit, then you've got the goal scoring threat of I know Callum Robinson probably doesn't score as many goals as what people are like, but he plays other important roles by his work rate. And you look at the 2 penalties that he earned at the weekend, it's because of his endeavour and the way that he put his body on the line to get them. So yeah, I do like Snodgrass. For me, he's a great signing because I played with him at Leeds for 10 games, and he's a great character to have around the training pitches and around the dressing room. So yeah, he's an important signing, and hopefully Sam can bring a few more in before the end of the transfer window. But yeah, I'd like to think. I mean, it's going to be close. It's going to be close, but there's Fulham's. They keep getting dragged down there, which is good. It's just staying in and around them, isn't it? That's the most important thing. Is not letting that gap get too big.
Yeah, 100%.
Be the Great Escape 2.0. What we're hoping.
I mean, Brighton's result of the weekend didn't help because they nicked it at Leeds. But it's like you say, it's just getting the wins when you need to get them.
Yeah,
let's hope they can do it. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us, Paul. We really appreciate you giving us some of your time.
No worries. My pleasure.
Thank you very much for everyone who's watched. If you could click the subscribe button and the like button, that really helps us out. All the socials and links to Paul's website are on the screen and in the description box. I guess we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.